Waiting for cars for heat number 5 to be released out onto the track. Welcome to you just joining us here on our live coverage of the IFMAR World Championships from Gubbio in Italy. This is for 1/10 electric touring cars. This is the end of timed practice that we're just catching. So we've got the penultimate heat of modified, and then the top heat of modified to go. Cars just coming around the line. Once this is done, we then have got one round of qualifying to run tonight. That's a bit of a bonus for everybody. Qualifying was scheduled to start tomorrow, but due to the risk of inclement weather, they've decided to get a dry run and a dry round in today and get that out of the way. Cars taking place in this heat. We have got Dominic Queck, Oliver Havranak, Hayato Ishioka, Loic Jasmine, Nicholas Lee, Michele Manzo, Alessio Menuccini, David Ronafalk, Lucas Aban, and Michael Orlowski. So some off-road superstars out in this heat. You would have seen on our coverage of the 1/8 Rallycross World Championships the other day, David Ronafalk finishing in second position. That was on Saturday. And already he will be adapting to this massively different challenge of driving a touring car around this challenging circuit here at Gubbio. Slightly different layout to normal for here. They've extended a couple of the corners that you'll be able to see on stream. We're running with Queck at the moment as he runs down this little short Monaco RC straight into the Hobby Wing hairpin. Down flows past race control, off down the main straight into the Sumperdown sweeper, into the Tony Sport hairpin. So that is a lap with Dominic Queck. He's running towards the tail of the field. Just having a look and seeing who is quick at the moment. Lucas Urban with the 9 car, Michael Orlowski with the 10 car. Both looking quite fast. See many of these drivers not running race paint. Haven't had the opportunity to identify all of their body shells yet. Let's just see as they come around who we can grab and suggest. Car to follow. Looking for car 9 if we can spot him. In fact, we can see David Ronafalk, so let's have a bit of a look at him. He is the white-fronted, yellow-fronted, orange centre, green rear car. He is just about to head down towards race control now. There we go. This is David Ronafalk. So last seen on Saturday, giving chase to David Ongaro, coming up seconds short. So a very, very different challenge here for David. He heads off through the sweep. This camera position that we're watching from, very, very close to the driver's eye position. Drivers standing very slightly to the left of this position that we're watching, but this does give you a pretty good idea of the field of vision that the drivers have. Can see if there's a couple of... There's one of those extended corners that we mentioned and spoke about. Let's just see if we can get some of the conversations going. So, a few people joining us in on the YouTube chat. Michael Wolf says, looking forward to seeing this. Yeah, absolutely. BJ Williams saying, this race loses a lot of luster with no American representatives. You could make that argument that they did have the opportunity to be here, so it is, you know, it's their choice that that they're not here. Raw down to host the next World Championships, so hopefully a few more American drivers. How many heats are today? There's one round of qualifying to come, and let me just get a schedule up. So we will have, what have we got? 2 heats of Formula 1, we've got 3 heats of Spec, so 13.5 class, and we've got 6 heats of Modified to come, so that will consist of a round. On that subject, and the possibility of inclement weather, they're going to treat each class individually, so if a class gets a round complete, that will be considered signed, sealed and delivered. They're not considering a whole round as a whole completely dry round or completely wet round as a necessity. It will be per class, which will help a little bit on that. Just having a look now. A request coming in from James Hart to see if we can pick up Michael Orlowski. Where's he? Car number 10. Let's see if we can spot him. There's 30 seconds left to run. Just trying to pick up the 10 car now. Michael is not running. Oh, he's running a plain white body shell. He's just coming around the last car round out onto the main straight now. So he's just going through the sweeper off the end of the main straight. A couple of cars back from that, I think. So there we go. That's him just out the back. Not that car, that one. That's just the last one in shot. That white car. Moves forward 1 position. That's all of the cars being brought in. So again, welcome to you if you are just joining us here on this bonus stream, really. Top heat of Modified, all set to go for the final timed practice here at Gubbio. We're RC Racing TV, bringing you live coverage of this IFMAR World Championships in conjunction with X-Ray, Monaco RC, Sumperdow, Hobbywing and Tony Sport. Top heat will consist of Akio Sabue, Bruno Coelho, defending champion from South Africa in 2018. Jules Groskamp, Alex Hagberg, Yannick Prumper, Mark Reinhard, Victor Wilk, Ronald Volker, Naoto Matsukura and Christopher Krapp. So big names out there in this top heat. Waiting for the cars to be released. They'll then drive round to the start line. You can see already the marshal out there with the red flag near marshal point 3, ready to stop the cars on their way round. Fantastic facility here at Gubbio, and all the marshals well catered for with the seating positions. The cars being released now. You'll just see them start flowing through the shot in a moment. There we go. As they're heading round to the line. Looks like we've got some race paint going out there this time, which will help matters no end. In fact, right to the end, I thought we were going to get away completely with no one cans. There's a white one, so Bruno's letting the side down. So, but in fairness, he's the only one, so we can still spot him. So we have got everybody else out there relatively easy to see.
As Nick would say, the infamous Juan Can.
Yes, Juan Can paints an awful lot of body shells for people. 6 world champions in this heat. Bruno, Jez, Alex, Mark, Ronald, Nyato. They're off and running. So this Akio Sabue we're running with at the moment. He is running the Axon TC10-2. So it's a conversion kit for the Yokomo BD10. Just seen off a shot, Nyato off on the grass. So already Bruno right up behind Akio, pushing hard. Bruno looking like he's got very, very quick single lap pace in the car. Over 3 laps, he's certainly been quickest, over 5 minutes. Akio has had probably looking like a more comfortable car to deal with. I think some of these drivers visited the track earlier in the year as well with nitro cars, with gas cars. And this slightly different track layout is affecting them very slightly. If we can move back 1 car onto the white car. So this is Bruno Coelho we're running with, defending world champion. Bruno running as the quickest car in the heat at the moment. He's some 2.5 tenths down the road from Akio on 4 at a time. So welcome to you if you are just joining us and wondering what is going on here. When we say he's 2.5 tenths up, although he's running behind him, what that means is he started the run 1 second behind him, and he is currently running about 3/4 of a second behind him. So he's actually in front on what we term in front on the split. So running quite nicely there. Let's see if we can pop back 1 car further. That is the familiar car of Gilles Groskamp. So Gilles, 10 years ago now, won the Worlds at his home track. So
was that Heemstede?
It was. And that was with quite a daring move on the line, a bit of a dive for the line that he managed to take that as well. So pretty immense power down the main straight. There is a speed trap here, so just keeping an eye on some of the speeds that we're seeing. We're seeing, well, quickest we've seen so far is 112k.
I saw 119 earlier.
Okay, so
75 miles an hour.
Yeah, so
well,
we're talking 100k is 62 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's it gives you an idea of how fast these cars are traveling. These are the quickest cars out there on the track. The stock class cars and the F1 cars,
and the quickest drivers as well.
Yes, absolutely. With this being the top heat and full of world champions, 6 of the drivers out there holding a world title in 1 class in particular. I mean, Alex Hagberg, Nitro Touring Car world champion, 12 scale world champion, amazing driver, and he's running last in this heat. Which just really goes to show you the level of competition. Just having a look now to see what any more comments coming in. Got a low 15-second lap. Is that faster than 200mm Nitro TC? It's a little bit difficult to tell and get a fair comparison because this is a permanent layout, and the rulebook says that you can't run on exactly the same track. You'll notice a couple of the corners have been extended by some sort of bot dots and some green felt.
We can zoom in on those after the race, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so that you can see, and all it's done is it's extended a few apices. You can just flowing through shot there with Gilles. You can see a couple of them. 30 seconds left in this heat. Let's have a look and see who else is travelling quickly out there. that we can pick up. In fact, we mentioned him earlier. Let's have a look at Alex Hagberg. He is the white and green coloured car just out onto the main straight now. No, he's just come down the pit lane and pulled in. So commentator's curse on that one. And in fact, that's interesting. Most of the drivers pulled in right before the end of that run.
Yeah.
If we can get a sort of zoom in on one of those sets of bot dots, it's just over to the left of of the shot at the moment. There we go. And if we can sort of zoom in on those dots with the felt, there we go.
One's
right
in
the middle.
in the S as well. It's directly in front of the camera.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can see just off the top of the shot there. If we can...
Oh, hang on, we've got the results on the screen.
Okay. So you can see there, Bruno quickest over 3 laps. So time practice running over or sorted by consecutive 3 laps. Just saying we will have... south of Brazil is watching. So got viewers from all over the world joining us, eager to see what's going on.
If you pan left, Zach, sorry, right. To a good start. More. Little quicker, left.
There we go.
So when we were here earlier in the summer, where you can see the white line continuing on both sides of the felt there, that's where the nitro cars were attacking the initial part of the S here that's in front of the cafe, and you can see it's been extended out for the world, so it's a bit different track. And if you go to the right again, the first sharp turn off of the sweeper has also been modified just a bit with those big dots and the felt.
That's also doubly hard actually through there, because that sweeper is you can't the shot flattens it out, but there is some banking there which pulls the car into the corner, so you don't apply as much steering lock, and the car naturally with the amount of traction that's there, I mean you can see the thick black line that the cars have traditionally been running on. It tends to pull the car in, and the other problem that I think a few drivers are experiencing is your eyes tend to follow the thick black line in front of you, and at the moment they haven't necessarily developed the muscle memory to every single lap go around it, so you are seeing, certainly in some of the lower heats, a few drivers taking a couple of stabs at getting around the bot dots cleanly and having to turn in. So it looks like we should be going straight into qualifying, but I think
there's maybe just a slight break.
There's a very slight break.
Everyone's just kind of standing around.
Yeah.
There's no one on the rostrum yet. We'll have a rostrum cam and another cam hopefully tomorrow, but we wanted to make sure and get some extra bonus footage live for everybody who's very eager to keep up with the latest in electric touring car tech and racing. I think the first drivers are starting to meander onto the rostrum now.
Yep, so this will be the first proper live session of qualifying for the Formula One. This is a World Cup rather than a World Championships because of the number of entrants in this. Still be hotly contested, but we have Jean-Michel Varinard, Thomas Sova, Michael Freebol, Sandro Gavazzoni, Marek Sova, Michele Davoli, Alexandra Perrin-Topan, Luigi Cavallero, Lorenzo Taramelli, Claudio Cristofori, and Giorgio Favoretto set to take to the track. Not seeing the drivers up on the rostrum yet. Marshals have gone out, and looks like they're having sort of coulda, woulda, shoulda debriefs with each other. Just catching up a little bit. So again, welcome to you if you are just joining us here. for live coverage.
Cars are in the pit lane finally.
Yeah, so just a few minutes turnaround or extra turnaround.
So do you know what the tire rules are? Just to explain some of this as we're going into the proper qualifying now.
This gets a little bit complicated. So they normally have a limited number of sets, which is indexed, linked to the number of runs that they would have. So you're not running fresh tyres every run, and a tyre strategy comes into it.
So if you have 5 runs, maybe you get 3 sets or 2 sets or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. So, and it becomes a bit of a strategic game because of the qualifying format. It's not an FTD qualifying format. Or
fastest time of day.
Yes. It's round by round. So your aim isn't to just do the absolute fastest time possible. It is to be the quickest within that round of qualifying. And for winning that, you'll get 150 points or 200 points, depending on the number of entrants, and you will then the best sort of series of round scores count. So clearly, being on new tyres is an advantage. You can offset yourself. You'll see some drivers that are kind of towards the tail end of the top 10, maybe sit out round 1 of qualifying or only do a couple of laps, thereby giving themselves a tyre advantage in round 2, and that tyre advantage might be enough to get them from the back of the top 10 to the front of the top 10, get some good round points in. So there's the opportunity for tyre strategy at play. With the potential for wet weather, that's when things get a little bit confusing. There wasn't really any provision made for wet running. I believe that there's been 100 sets of wet tyres sourced for the touring cars, of which, well, we've got 8 heats of touring cars. No, we haven't. We've got... Let's just check. What have we got? We have got 3 heats. We've got 9 heats of touring cars, sorry. That sounds a bit more accurate. So we've got somewhere between 80 and 90 cars, not necessarily full heats out there. Basically, you've got 1 set of tyres for everybody. Leading away, though, we have got, at the moment, Jean-Michel Varinard through the sweeper. He's being pressured quite hard. In fact, Thomas Sova has already got the jump on him, I think. So Thomas may be thinking he could have... that's probably why he's not had a brilliant seeding session. Shot off like an absolute rocket and then had a bit of an over-rotation. These F1 cars very different from the touring cars out there. These are rear-wheel drive cars, so a lot more tail-happy, a lot more sort of sliding at the rear of the car. And in order to preserve the scale looks of an F1 car, they're quite narrow for their length, for the wheelbase of the car. So they kind of have a bit of an interesting look where they kind of understeer on corner entry and then snap oversteer in the middle of the turn, in the middle of the corner.
Which you just did just there.
Pull through it, yeah, absolutely. So that's why these cars don't necessarily look as planted as some of them. Michael Freeble running in 2nd position at this moment in time. We are aware that the timing at the side of the screen isn't running fully. It's showing the best 3 laps still rather than the overall time on there, but I can see that actually Michael Freeble's now moved into lead with car number 2. That's the other thing with these F1 cars. The numbers on them are a little harder to spot, but we'll try and pick up car number 2. See if we can identify him out there on track. There's car 8, 6.
Just working on that timing issue. Yeah. Should be able to fix that in just a couple minutes.
Okay, so yeah, that's just a reflection of the slight difference in qualifying format. There's an 11. Michael Freeble still shown as leading. I think he might have the wrong numbers on the car still. That's, yeah, I believe he is the yellow rear car on the main straight. I believe that is him. Just have a look as they come through. He's certainly getting near the end of the lap. He's lapping in the vicinity of Varinard. No, in fact, he's the one car in front of that is Michael. So if we can move forward one car onto the... There we go, that's the car in shot now. This is Michael Freeble that we're running with. Running out in front of the pack. It's always good to get a good solid time in and on the books, so he'll be wanting to get a good round score. Of course, the other thing is if this does turn out to be the only dry round of qualifying, whenever you get to a tie-break situation, just seen a little half spin there from Michael, but didn't require marshalling. If this does get to a situation where any kind of tie-break is required, that always reverts back to fastest time. So having set a score and a good score, or a good run, and done a good clean run in dry conditions, you're always going to have a better fastest time than someone that's done it in the wet, even if they've got the same round points as you. So it's quite important, really, to make hay whilst you can. They're starting to carve their way through traffic.
That timing has been sorted now, so you can see that the top drivers have 11 and 10 laps.
Yep, so Michael Freeble, who we are running with at the moment, with just over 30 seconds left, leading this one by about 1.5 seconds. So he started out as car number 2. Jean-Michel Varinard started out as car number 1. You can see he has caught and overtaken him on track. Varinard is sort of one car back from Michael out there, and they're just circulating, having sort of caught and passed him. Just coming up for finishing times now. Just catching up with some of the comments. So got some Al Yarmak saying hello from USA, Michigan. Patrick Beck asking any chance of car sound in the background. We will hopefully, Patrick, have some ambient noise tomorrow. It was a bit of a panic. We weren't scheduled to go live today, so this is a bit of a bonus. We haven't got the secondary microphones or a couple of the fixed cameras set up as yet. So we will do. We will, should have that finished off after running's completed today. But thought it was important to bring you some news and some coverage. Optima 2006. I don't see any Raw. No, we don't have any American drivers here with us, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Top heat of F1 about to go. Remember this, a World Cup rather than a World Championships. But Andreas Stiebler the Austrian driver. Quickest in practice from David Ehrbar, running a car of his own design. Lucas Hock, Brian Ferreira, Luke Lee, Jitsi Medema, Pietro Lucifora, Giulio Barini, Christian Grenz, Nicky Taylor, and Alessandro Manciacucci. David Austin asking, did they take the dots off? No, they didn't. Dots are still there. Sakis Nakis asking, has the stock class run? No, stock class hasn't run yet. This is the second of 2 heats, so this is the top heat of Formula 1. Then we have got 3 heats of stock to come, and then we've got 6 of modified. Andreas Stiebler set to lead away now that the cars have been released. You'll see them just coming around to flag. So there we go. Andreas Stiebler from David Ehrbar, Lucas Hoch. Cars lining up, all getting set to go. Stiebler leads away from David Ehrbar. You see Stiebler running a little bit of over rotation there. That's exactly what we were talking about. So a little bit wild, and again that sort of characteristic to the Formula One's, that corner entry understeer. So you can see already. He seems to have some kind of a problem. They're being brought back round to the start. So some kind of issue at the start there. Team X-Ray 1001 asking, where's Jan Rathajski? Jan decided not to make the trip, I believe, when the meeting was reduced from World Championship status, as there weren't enough entries for it to qualify as a World Championships. He was unable to devote the time to make the start. So Stiebler leads away again from David Ehrbar. Stiebler makes a better fist of the corner that time. But David Ehrbar has now passed him. So David leads down the main straight through the Sumperdow sweeper up into the Tony Sport hairpin down the Monaco RC section. And up under race control. So we're located up in that sort of race control section of the track. You can see that little bit of instability on the car, and David's car looking very, very loose there. Luke Lee launching himself up the order. He's only 4/10 off of the lead at the minute. Let's see if we can pick up Luke. Luke is the yellow and red coloured car. He's just going through the sweeper now, so he's a couple of cars back. There we go, he's at the tail end of that field. So this is the second place car. He is about 3/10 off of the lead at the moment. If you're wondering, just joining us and you're new to this, wondering how come he's 3/10 off of the lead, it's because we run a sort of staggered start qualifying system. So cars start 1 second apart. What it means is that he started out 2 seconds, he's car 4, so he started out 2 seconds behind David Ehrbar, and he's currently running just over that 2 seconds away from him. So there will always be a gap between them. The cars are only racing themselves at the moment. They are not running in any actual racing. That will take place, or is scheduled to take place, on Saturday. Finals day due on Saturday here for everybody, allowing the opportunity for everybody to travel home on Sunday. Luke slipping back down the field a little bit. Lucas Hoch has got himself up into second position with the 3 car. Just going to see if we can pick him out there. I believe he's the 2nd car through the sweeper now. No, in fact, he's the all blue coloured car on the main straight. Sorry, so there we go. That is our 2nd place car. We will get more familiar with the colour schemes of some of these cars as the weekend goes on, and be a little bit quicker to pick them out. F1 cars notoriously difficult to spot the numbers on. Wing end, there's not many sort of huge flat areas on them to see numbers on, and when some of the touring cars run a full heat of one colour white body shells, it doesn't help matters either, and can make life a little bit harder. David Erbar still leading this one from Lucas Hoch, who we're running with at the moment. Luke Lee's got himself back up into 3rd position. David Erbar, though, with just over a minute to go, kind of running away with this one. Let's see if we can pick him up, the 2 car. Let's go back to him. Where is he? Oh, he's in splendid isolation all by himself. He is just about to come down towards race control. So there we go, and through the sweeper onto the main straight. There comes our leader, David Erbar, running a car of his own design. You can see the car sort of rotating quite nicely, a little bit more than most. 30 seconds left. No time for nerves. So now David knows with 20 seconds left to go, he's got a 4-second lead in his pocket. So his aim now will be just to bring this one home. The absolute worst thing you could do at this point, and it's not something that I've ever done myself, absolutely honest, is bin it at this stage in a run. Of course, that's even worse when you're on a set of control tyres and everything, because if you make a mistake right at the start of a run, at least you're safe in the knowledge that you haven't taken the best out of your tyres. You're not going to set a great time so you can stop. But what you don't want to be doing is on a brand new set of tyres, and of course everybody's going to be on a new set of tyres. It's round 1 of qualifying. You really don't want to be making a mistake right at the end. But no such problems for David Erbar. Luke Lee recovers into 2nd position. So good recovery there from Luke, having dropped down the field slightly. That's good to see. Team X-Ray 1001 says, looks like cars are slow off the corners due to the huge gearing required for the straight. I think F1 cars in general, rear-wheel drive cars don't necessarily have the ability to put the power down. I mean, I'm just having a look. The quickest speed clock that we saw there, 70.4 kilometers an hour. So what's that? That's 70k is 43.5 miles an hour. Doing the maths, I believe. If someone wants to correct me, please feel free. But that's it's got to be somewhere in that region. So yeah, they're pulling some pretty impressive speed by the end of the main straight. Be interesting to see what the stock class cars manage to achieve. Which, talking of stock class, that's what we're about to see. So this, all set to go, will be the first heat of the World Championship proper for the touring cars. Cars all set to be released out onto the circuit. So we will have Alessio Navaria, Tassos Batas, sorry, the Greek driver, Pietro Federico, Matteo Periacci, Laszlo Kiss-Orban, Nikos, the another one of the Greek drivers, Alberto Fontanini, Kenneth Bertelsen, Janos Naratsis, Alessandro Politano, and Mattia Melcane. So welcome to you again if you are just joining us on our stream. If you're wondering what's going on, we're RC Racing TV bringing you live coverage of the IFMAR 1/10 Touring Car Electric World Championships from Gubbio in Italy. There we go, Christian Steinbrugger, thank you for doing the maths. I said 43.5 miles an hour, 43.75 miles an hour, so apologise, my mental maths not quite as good. Not quite as good. I'm 0.25 miles an hour off, so not terrible for my sketch there. Optima 2006. Normally there are 1/12 World Championships before the TC. Are they going to skip this year? That got separated in 2020. So the UK hosted the 1/12 World Championships at the beginning of 2020, and then the world went a bit crazy, and we all went into lockdown, and of course the World Championships scheduled for later in 2020 got cancelled. In effect, this is the continuation of that. So 1/12 World Championships are scheduled to take place next year as the next one. But the first heat of touring car running at the moment. Tassos Batas running in front with the number 2 car. We've got a guest joining us as well. So we have Chris Hardesty, EFRA chairman, or EFRA electric track chairman.
Correct.
Got it right. Joining us. So you're not necessarily here in an official capacity this weekend, are you, Chris? What's
you're right. Yeah. So this is an IFMAR event. So it's obviously the World Championships, and EFRA, if you like, is the administrative arm of how you enter the liaison between IFMAR and the track organising committee.
Okay. So clearly they're drawing on your many years of experience.
Thank you.
So, I didn't say, I said I wouldn't say you're old. That's
all right. Okay. Yeah. I have a few T-shirts.
You have a few T-shirts. There we go. That's a nice way of putting it. So I think a few people are wondering why we're running today, or how it's come to be that we're running around a qualifying today. What's the story? I think that Sai said something there. So what's the story there?
Okay, I'm trying to remember when this meeting should have actually happened. 2020. Obviously, it was Europe's turn. It goes around in block rotation in IFMAR. So it was our turn to host the World Championship. So obviously we put the call out to all our federations who's prepared to run it, and I believe there were probably 5 or 6 competing for this. again, being EFRA, we vote on it, and obviously this track with its history and facilities and its location as well. It's not the easiest place to get to in the world. It's certainly one of the prettiest places in the world, though. There's lots of great heritage there, lots of good, solid, great race meetings here. So a track with reputation, federation with a reputation of being able to run things. So the other federations, because of course it's not an EFRA choice. That's not to say we wouldn't have chosen it. We always put it out to the federations to vote on these things, and they all fancied coming to Gubbio. So.
Absolutely, it's
and
a
why
lovely,
not? And
lovely
why
place
not?
of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really, really good to see. So that's sort of brought us here, and then looking at it, there's clearly been some changes to the track.
That's the rules
on there. So for a permanent track, and this is after the warm up. The track has to be considered different, so that's.
Oh yeah, like I intimated, this track has got a lot of heritage, and like many other of the older tracks, this was established in 1983. It tends to be slightly inflexible as far as cuts and things like that, but it's a completely different thing too, where you're just basically running on a tennis court or a car park. This has got all the character and everything else. So the requirements are normally 60%. Change. Now, for me, that's a difficult thing to interpret. Actually, 60% of kind of change is, well, you go around. Can you alter 60% of the corners? No, obviously. So this has to be a sensible thing, and it's done by negotiation between IFMAR and the TOC, the organising committee of the club.
Okay. And I think the other thing that's been coming up is the possibility of inclement weather. What's the situation with regards to...
Well, it depends whose mobile phone you believe at the moment. I mean, mine says it's going to be great tomorrow, but we have to plan for these things. So we have a supply of rain tyres becoming available tomorrow. They should be available maybe here today. But at the moment, it's not raining. So we have a schedule. So we run to the schedule until we can't, and then it becomes a different matter.
Okay, and we've already picked up that the sort of rounds are going to be considered by class for a complete round rather than a.
Yes. Why should we throw away somebody's dry run if it rains on one heat?
Yeah, absolutely. So
So now we can consider each of the classes, Formula One, Spec, and Mod, as their own little, events run within a bigger event. So, why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, looking like a good event.
Yes, yeah. Every event you go to has got niggles. I have never been to an event that has gone 100% smoothly, and it's just like somebody quoted at one of the meetings that I ran a long time ago, or was part of running, because you cannot run these things without a team. So there is no one individual that runs a world championship, well, hats off to them if they do. It's one on the top and the ugly bits underneath. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're trying. That's the best thing.
The event should look like a calm and graceful swan on the surface, with flapping away under the water.
Yeah.
Trying to keep itself afloat.
Yeah, so we usually go into a closed room and cry there for a while, and then come out smiling. Yeah.
No, fair enough. There we go.
Yeah.
Bit behind the scenes at a World Championships with Chris Hardesty, but what do you think? Is there anybody? We've had a few comments already that no American drivers here.
Mm-hmm.
I've sort of already intimated, well, that's their choice. They're invited. There's nothing stopping them from making the journey.
Yes, it's been difficult for, obviously, some countries have got differing restrictions and they're coming out. I mean, we're post-pandemic. I mean, it's okay for some of the countries that have survived the pandemic, and they've come out, kind of fully protected, and they want to go racing, and they're absolutely desperate to get there. Others aren't so lucky. So yes, it may be travel restrictions. It may well be that the fact that Did you fly here?
We did, yes.
Did you actually get here on time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have done.
We
would have done had it been to the original schedule of qualifying beginning tomorrow. So,
okay. I don't remember that bit.
So no, you've slept since then, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, with that, but that's brought us here a little bit earlier. So the plan was to be.
Yeah, it's varying degrees of difficulty and of course expense from different parts of the world. So I wouldn't possibly try and explain why we are short of drivers from different regions.
Yeah. So no, it shouldn't devalue the event in any way. As you know, the top heat is the top heat are modified. Certainly, there's 6 world champions from various classes running in that. So immensely difficult. You know.
Yeah, and they asked me to seed it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and that in itself is a challenge.
We mentioned, Alex Hagberg, absolute superstar, multiple class world champion, and he was running around last in the top heat. And it's that's how can you explain anywhere else in the world at any other meeting he'd be dominating that. And it's just one of those things. So we're watching heat number 2 of Spec running at the moment. There's 3 heats in total. Of there, so this is the first of the World Championship class. Do you want to explain, Chris, what the situation is with the Formula class not being a World Championships, being a World Cup? How did that come about?
Yes, it was a World Cup in South Africa 4 years ago, and I guess it didn't get put forward to be a full World Championship, but that actually would have met with some difficulty. With it being classified as a support class, basically to top up the meeting numbers to fill the meeting, which it fulfills perfectly, and we got some real enthusiasts here competing for that title of IFMAR World Cup champion, or whatever, it has to be World Cup and not World Champion, so to speak. But if it's a small number of entrants, if it was going to be a World Championship and it has less than 30, which it does have, the rules would disqualify it anyway. So whoever planned it to be a support race actually got it right.
So absolutely, and some fantastic drivers have won World Cups. I mean, David Spatchett, probably a famous World Cup.
Well, that's the most one of the most famous ones, 1998. Yeah, and we all regard him as the first triple world champion, etc. But yes, that was the first ISTC, and he was a World Cup winner, essentially. But anyway, that doesn't stop us all doing. Oh yeah, David Spatchett.
Yes,
triple world champion in 1 year. Yeah.
And with one class. And do you think what we're seeing now, talking of triple world championships, do you think that will continue moving forward with the sort of foam tired? So in effect, 12 scale now. Pro 10 seems to have dried up a bit and disappeared.
I would not say that.
Well, okay.
I would not say that. If your audience is pan-European, there are probably people jumping up and down in several countries now.
Okay. Yeah. It is not as well supported as it once was.
No, but their following is, shall we say, it's not a fanatic based. Not just, you couldn't just use the word fan, yes. And the Pro 10s, it's dropped out of the EFRA handbook per se, but it's still a 10th electric class. It's still lightning quick.
Absolutely.
If you consider what the machinery we're churning around with 4-wheel drive, and then you're going to put it in a lightweight Pro 10 with an aerodynamic body, that's kind of exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
on foam tyres with additive. I'm salivating now.
They're silly quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They're. But do you going back to the original question? Do you ever foresee sort of 1/12 and touring car coming back together again? Or?
Well, that's an option. It parted. It was a proposal basically so that we could separate it, so they don't become. Yes, having to run both of them was less attractive to certain federations. Or blocks, And so the 12 scale community that were applying for it, which is namely the BRCA, wanted to prove, and they did successfully, that it was a standalone world championship worth separating from 1/10. And unfortunately, we happened to separate it by COVID, which has now left it out of sync with everything. But we have to somehow get it back in sync and plan for the future.
Okay, no, that's good. Good to hear what the plans are and what's going on. Just having a look at the top speed of some of these cars. That's great to see as well, isn't it? That speed trap down the end of the main straight.
It'll get faster.
Absolutely. I mean, stock at the moment we're seeing somewhere around 80k, which we established. Well, my maths failed me, and I said 70k was 43.5 kilometres an hour, and it's apparently 43.75
miles an hour. Yeah.
So miles an hour, yes. Yes. So
divide by 8, multiply by 5.
Yes. Yeah. So. I was sort of hurriedly trying to do some mental maths and missed by.
Just you've got your phone in front of you. Just get a calculator.
Yeah, but that's being used to get the interactive data from people watching us on the YouTube stream.
Another phone.
So Billy Fletcher asking how many heats are there. Good to see you watching, Billy. There are 11 heats total. There's 2 Formula 1, there's 3 heats of stock, and there are 6 of modified. So
that might get compressed.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to sweep up the no-shows, etc. So we've probably got 114 entrants now, I believe. So we'll be looking at classes that say got, I think Formula 1 is 21, so we'll run a 10 and 11.
Okay.
And the track's big enough to accommodate that. There's plenty of space. So.
On the driver's rostrum, okay.
Yeah.
And because we haven't seen the time schedule for tomorrow yet, have we?
No.
Is that, do we know when that's going to be
I'm
published?
sorry, I failed you. I actually have it in the high office.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough. Okay, so...
it's not published yet.
What we're actually asking is how much of a line can we have tomorrow morning before...
None at all. I'll be here before 7, so, yeah.
Right, okay. Cheers, Chris.
Yeah. No, I won't be here before 7.
But no, always good to hear. So about to see the top heat of stock go. Alex Deshay, initially the winner of the European Championships.
Yeah.
That was a little bit unfortunate, that one, wasn't it? That felt.
It's always difficult to deal with these things.
Yeah.
But it happens, and at the end of the day, it's 2 cans of worms. You pick one of them, basically.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with it.
Yeah. You got to deal with the fallout. But Alex showing that still very, very quick, top seed.
Absolutely.
Simon Lauter starting second, Zach Finley third, Filippo Dominin will begin fourth, Adam Isay fifth, Max Mackler sixth, Oliver Bultink, who inherited that European title, in 7th, Luca Romagnoli in 8th, Federico Barbieri 9th, and Frederick Hovgaard will begin in 10th. I think certainly some of these guys did us a bit of a favour running race paint. The top heat of modified, got to commend them. Only one car was running a single can white paint job.
Oh, who was it?
It was Bruno.
Oh,
so the defending champion. But
in his defence, I don't think he likes running that white car. I think he wants a more colourful one.
You think he wants his orange coloured, his orange and white coloured car?
I think so. Yeah.
But it's single colour. So long as they're distinct single colours, it's not a problem. But trying to
the white car in front of the white car is overtaking the other white car.
Yeah, that's saying that as we're watching the white car of car 4. Who's that? Filippo Dominin. Thanks, Filippo. Coming round. Graham Gorder saying excellent commentary. Thank you very much. Billy Fletcher saying Zach Finley in this heat, had a cracking race with him at the West London National a few weeks ago. Many. I mean, that's the other thing about these worlds and allowing, having people watching it. It's people that they know and know where they measure up to and how they sit against and how it sort of it gives you a pitch of where you would roughly sit in a in a pecking order. I beat him at club, therefore I'm.
I know he only had 3 wheels, but I beat him at the club.
I beat him at the club, therefore I'm Therefore, I'm world champion. That's by definition. So here we go. Alex Deshay leading away at the front of this heat. So the all-white coloured car.
There will be a computer starting them tomorrow.
That's okay.
Although this is old school.
Old school, wave them off with the flags. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
The race director, yes, he's doing a sterling job. He's been out all day in the sun.
It doesn't really matter because the clock doesn't start till they cross the loop, does it? So they're not at an advantage or disadvantage being manually waved off. It's the transponder that's picking them up. So we have got Simon Lauter running in second position. Oliver Baltink currently running in third. If we can move back one car to Simon Lauter. Let's just have a look. So Zach's still running at the moment with Alex Deshay, the all-white coloured car. If we can drop back one car.
I was watching Simon Lauter on German television the other day.
There we go. There's also Google has quite an interesting. When you view the results, Google tries to sort of auto-translate his name, and he becomes Simon Lauder.
Okay.
Ronald Volker becomes Ronald People. It's brilliant. It's you know Google Translate it's sometimes a little too intelligent for its own good. Simon Lauter running in third position currently. Filippo Dominin. Well, we know from earlier he's the all-white coloured car.
He was impressive at the warm-up.
He was very, very quick. Let's see if we can pick him up. So I think he's another 2 cars back. No, 1 car forward from that. He's the all-white coloured car. There we go. This Filippo Dominin. You can see through under race control, that's where we're located, off down the main straight, into that sweeper. That is very slightly banked through there. It's quite hard to tell. The camera does flatten it, but it's. I think speaking to a few of the drivers, they're finding that the car's being pulled in towards the like the base of that corner, and they're almost having to turn out of the corner to go round the extended track in that area.
Yeah, I think possibly one of the most significant changes they had to make. Yeah.
I think, and I in general, I think you can see this thick black line. That's fairly typical of tracks that have nitro cars run on them anyway, which is quite a nice thick oily line. And I think there's a tendency for the drivers' eyes to follow that thick black line. And a couple of times I've seen some fairly notable drivers turn in following the black line and realise what they've done, and it's happening in a split. It's microseconds that they're it's amazing really when you think about it.
Yeah, they adjust and miss the dots, and we just crash onto them.
You or I would cream straight into them. So Dominin running in third position at the moment. Simon Lauter still running in second, with 1.5 minutes to go. Alex Deshay is still leading this one, and his lead is, let's have a look, currently, what is it, about 0.9 of a second from Simon Lauter that he's got. So because they started out 1 second apart, that means he's currently running just under 2 seconds in front of him out on the track. Best lap time of a 17.8, which Filippo Dominin has matched. We've got Adam Isay having done a 17.9.
One on its roof.
Who have we got there?
Car 7 on its roof there.
Car 7, that was Ollie Baltink, so our European champion on his roof. He's not running his normal race paint, which makes it a little bit harder to see.
It would be scratched.
So Billy saying blue car looks rapid. Yep, that's the sort of, well, I don't know how you describe. I mean, it's like Smurf blue. He's just coming off the end of them or through the sweeper now. If we can move back one car, there we go. That car. This is Adam Isay. that we are running with. Hungarian driver. He's sort of made a bit of a breakthrough this year, hasn't he? He sort of shot to prominence really at the 12th Euros. Initially podium finisher. He also sort of fell victim to a bit of a motor issue after scrutineering at the European Championships, unfortunately, and sort of bumped him down the field a little bit. But Alex Deshay takes round 1 from Simon Lauter, Filippo Dominin. Max Adam Isay, who we were running with at the end, he finished 4th. Federico Barbieri just slipped in there in 5th in the end. Max Mackler 6th. Zach Finley 7th. Frederick Hovergaard 8th. And looks like Luca Romagnoli missed out, so potentially a bit of tyre saving going on.
No, used tyres this round.
Used tyres this round?
Yeah.
Okay.
New, CP1, CP2, and then out and used, and it's new next.
Okay.
So there was nothing to do.
No sort of strategy.
Yeah, the organisers here have been through and found any of the tyre saving times revealed by the computer, and those tyres will be removed from the box if they were saving them.
Okay.
Yeah, something that I don't do myself. I just keep tabs on it.
Okay. So sounds like the organisers have got their fingers on the pulse and are trying to.
They're very keen to get it right, and they've done enough events to know what they're doing.
So let's just have a look. We should have now a. Let's see if we can get a ranking list after qualifying for stock. Just check that no one from the lower heat dropped in. So Alex Deshay quickest as we expected from Simon Lauter, Dominin. Roberto Fabiano from the lower heat popped up there in 8th position. So sometimes being in being a quick car in a lower heat can get you a half decent round score.
Well, hopefully they're they receiving instructions from the referees to keep the road clear ahead of them. It is still qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a past referee. That's all I used to say all the time. It is qualifying. It is qualifying.
It's just qualifying. You're only racing against the,
Yeah, I never believed it when I was racing. No, I always wanted to.
Yeah, the sort of red mist descends a little bit, doesn't it?
Not red mist.
No, but
No.
you're.
The competitive element to pass the guy in front is quite strong.
Well, it's kind of a mental thing sometimes, isn't it? But also it can be. I mean, I don't know. I know myself when I'm driving around. If you're following someone, you're trying to mentally judge whether you're inside that 1 second split or not, and sometimes that can be quite difficult to tell if you're having a very close run whether you're in front of someone or behind them.
Yeah.
So these cars just going out there at the moment on their warm-up laps. This the first heat of modified. So Florian Wilhelm will be off first. Andy Kuhner, Andreas Kutras, Julian Jost, Andreas Johansson, Alexander Johansson, Stamatis Kontazoglu, Damien Giddings, and Mike Haswell.
Well done.
I believe he may be referred to as Car 7 in future.
I'll go and find out if he's got a nickname for you.
Thank you. Leading away, these cars already seeing some pretty impressive top speeds. Over 90k at the end of the main straight. You're seeing... if we can see any 98, but there we go, 106.
Well,
so,
that's not bad for a Spec.
106k. No, this is modified.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
This is modified.
We've switched. Yeah, we've gone up the classes,
if that was Spec, I think you probably need to be.
I'd be calling Paul in tech.
Yes, I think you'd be wanting to have a look at that, and yes, that would be a case of some speed controllers blinking faster than others. Kutras leading this one, another one of the Greek drivers, with car number 3. Billy Fletcher saying again, great to see Giddings and Haswell there. Yep. Mike does just about every single World Championships.
He's got all the T-shirts.
He's got every single T-shirt.
Literally, yeah.
Yes.
He'll wear them all week as well.
So, quite literally.
Different ones each day, I'd like to point out.
And here we go, Optima 2006 says, fun fact, 2 months ago, Eurochamp 200 mil at the same track, hot lap was 15.9, so electric cars low 15s. So, no, for and if anything, this track layout would be slower, wouldn't it? Because they've been...
I did see some pretty impressive lap times without the adjustment to the track.
Yes, that would be... do you know how much it's added to the lap length?
No, that's... there's 3 corners have been extended up to 1.5 meters. The approach to one corner has changed significantly, so they probably don't carry the speed around it as much.
So what do we reckon? I mean, it's going to depend on the class that you're running, but modified, is it a second? Is it it's difficult to tell, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I'll wait until the end of the day and we'll see. The track is cooling, which is possibly making it slightly quicker as well. So.
Yeah, there is that. So, yes, this... we'd be surprised if this turned out to be what we term as the rocket round, but...
Well, depends on the weather tomorrow. This could be the only dry round.
It does.
That would have a significant...
we mentioned that earlier as well, if it comes to tie breaks.
This is a significantly important round if it's going to rain for the rest of them.
Yes.
Because this means that every driver's had an opportunity to run a dry round.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's been run on used tyres, but there we are.
But it's they've got a they're going to have a significantly better tie break time than
some of the drivers that really didn't perform to their best in this round. It would be a disadvantage to them because this round will count, and if the rest are wet, kind of obviously they'll go slower. But it's the dry round that counts.
Yeah.
So if it's mixed. And we can't offer every driver the opportunity to race in the dry, then it's all wet rounds count.
Okay.
Just to be fair. So, yes. It is, like I say, it's unfortunate for some drivers that don't perform to their best ability in this round if it's the only dry round.
Well, I mean, there's no... it doesn't look like it's going to... or there's any forecast for it, but I think we're going to be here quite late tonight because we've got the opening ceremony after this as well.
We have indeed.
As well, so that is scheduled for
highlight of the day.
And we're
I believe it's Matt's favourite piece actually. I know Matt is a particular fan of the opening ceremony
of covering that, and I mean, how far? We're very slightly behind schedule, aren't we? At the moment, we're 2-3 heats behind schedule. I think about 15 minutes.
We'll catch up.
Yeah. Okay.
The heats are The heats are running in each 7 minutes, so it's quite tight.
Rather than an 8-minute turnaround. Okay, so you're compressing
it's quite tight, yes.
the gap between it. But I think the layout of the facility helps with that as well. With everybody sort of pitting. Everybody pitting just off to the left of your shot there as you come out onto the main straight.
Yeah, all the process of getting on and off the rostrum and collecting tyres, sourcing the tyres, and tech is fairly well laid out. It's quite logical.
Yeah, and I mean the whole facility just gives off an air of. This isn't the first time they've done this.
Oh no, this is
all. So they are absolutely up and running and well sorted with exactly what they're doing, and know how to make things tick, how to make things work very nicely. Keeping an eye on some of the comments that we're getting.
All positive, I hope.
Absolutely.
Good.
From the drivers, let's have a look. Jörg Carlson asking, is Deschet an X-ray driver? Yes, he is.
Yep.
Who have we got in the next heat then? That's just waiting for the changeover to occur.
Yeah, they can do with getting up on the rostrum.
They're just filtering through now. Everybody appearing and popping through. Cars set to be released. So welcome to you if you are just joining us here on RC Racing TV. We are bringing you live coverage of the IFMAR 1/10th Track World Championships from Gubbio in Italy.
I couldn't comment on what he just did. It's a nice T-shirt though for Mike as well, sporting a, I believe probably 90s vintage. He leads the field in retro Worlds T-shirts.
So, well, I guess that's a bit of a tribute to Ernie, isn't it? Who we sadly lost.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year.
Yeah. Great supporter of RC, of course.
Absolutely. So, cars being released out onto the circuit.
Number 5, Marshall.
And you feel really, really stupid if you crash and need a marshal at this point.
No, normally my trick.
Yeah. Not that I've ever done.
Yeah, this is the other thing. We've actually introduced an installation lap, which has slowed things down slightly.
Okay.
So yeah.
So is that just to let everybody get the feel of what they've got underneath them?
Yeah. I mean, it's coming off the pit lane, and they're doing half the track, probably 2/3 of the track. So they should really, by the time they get to the start grid, know whether it's pulling to the left or right or in reverse. So yeah.
And when you get that horrible feeling in the pit of you've made a change to your car and you go out and
it goes backwards is the worst. Yeah.
Well, it either goes backwards or you've developed it into a complete axe murder, and that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that you've got to drive this for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, the cogging as you know that you've connected the wires wrong. Yeah.
Yes, that's that. Or you've meshed the motor slightly wrong, and you get in that nice grinding noise.
I thought it was only me that did that.
It's been done on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Leading then this one, we have got who have we got? Let's just refresh the data so that we're running live.
German team manager's son in the lead.
Yes, we have Mr. Coman leading this one. Just trying to get an update on RCM of the timing. Let's just restart that. Okay, so Soren Sparbier looks like he's leading this one at the moment. Litvinenko running in 6th position.
Our Ukrainian entrant.
Okay.
From Kyiv.
Good to see.
Yeah, to drive all the way here because obviously you don't fly from there anymore.
No, that's how far is that?
2.5 kilometres or something.
Yeah, that's committed.
It's a big place.
It is.
Yeah, we'd look at it in the news and think, oh yeah, look.
That's yeah. But very, very good to see. See him competing and running out there. Okay, so we have timing now. So yeah, Soren Sparbier leading this one from Dimitris Yanadousis. Simone De Tavio, Daniel Piccini has leapt up the field with car number 6.
Oh, that's something going wrong, isn't it?
What's that?
No, I thought he dropped off the screen and Kakos.
No, he's still running. I think because he started out late, he's run into the bottom of the field, and then as he
Pinging
crosses the
back up,
line,
yeah.
jumping back up the field again. So that's always a bit disconcerting when you get something like the 2-minute call or the 4-minute call of running positions, and they haven't yet crossed the line, and you think, I'm surely must be running better than that when you started at the back of the field. And not that I ever start towards the back of the field. Soren Sparbier leading this one then from, he's the one car from Dimitrios Yanodis with the 2 car. Another one of the Greek drivers. We've got quite a few Greek drivers here.
Yep.
They've made the trip.
Absolutely. I think there's only one missing from the team. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good to see.
Yeah, Greece was one of the bidders for the World Championship for us as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So didn't fancy a trip.
Like I say, it wasn't my choice.
Well,
go to Greece anytime.
That's a Grecian earner.
No, it's nice to see that obviously ISTC is healthy in Greece.
Yes, yeah, it's good to see sort of many classes. Just keeping up with some of the comments that we're seeing at the moment.
Thank you.
So yeah, people asking about batteries that are being run. I think you'll probably see on a larger track like this. I'm not. I haven't seen any of the mod drivers running shorty packs.
No.
It is a legitimate thing, certainly on a smaller track. I think on the bigger kind of nitro-sized tracks, they tend to run a sort of one of the ULCG packs. So shorty packs tend to be something in the region of 4 to 4,500 milliamp hour capacity, and it's a little bit wanting. Got a car on its roof there.
No, most of the ones I've seen, I've been helping in tech, and that's been
there's
6 and 7.
Yeah, so I think it would be it'd be a horrible feeling to get to 4.5 minutes and open the throttle, and
those were the days.
Those were the days, but
bring back NICADs. Yeah.
You can relive them if you yes. So I mean, it is amazing how much power we've got now.
It's utterly ridiculous when you think about it, isn't it?
Well,
1.2 amp per hour.
Yeah.
And when you measured them, they weren't even that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we've got transmitter batteries and receiver packs that far outweigh the power that we had back then with that kind of stuff. So
back in the day.
I know.
It sounds terrible.
Janos takes that one.
No, you've gone quiet because we're trying to. Mike has what he's doing a mime act in front of us, and he wants something, but we can't work it out.
Here's a question for you both.
Okay.
Since we have a top organizer, I'll try to talk louder so I can be heard. Has there ever been any thought, well, I know there was, 5-cell attempted a while back, but has there ever been any thought to slowing the cars down somehow?
Yes, such a popular proposal that is.
I mean, because they are insanely fast. It's like driving a
Well, we did do that in the old days. I mean, I remember starting on 6-cell, and we went to 4-cell. Yeah.
5-cell era.
I think only 12 scale has actually taken that step to reduce the voltage.
It's quite. The problem is with cells, it was like 1.2 volts with a sub C cell, that you were reducing it by. With a lithium polymer cell, it's quite a big step.
Who knows? I mean,
when you reduce it,
I don't know where LiPo technology is going, but the different technologies that are emerging from, for instance, the cars you can now buy to go and drive down the street. You've got new technologies out there, or improvement on existing technologies such as Lion and Lifey.
Yes, absolutely, and they're sort of 3.3 volts nominal rather than 3.7.
Yeah, they're low voltage, so you could be getting a more inherently stable, longer-lasting, better cell, and that may improve things. I don't know, particularly if you don't have to buy a new one per run or feel the need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's a few options out there. I certainly don't think it's that's happening in modified at all.
No.
And running. So what have we got here? We have got heat number 3 of 6. So Remy Callens will lead away from Michele Manzo. Matthias Knopp, Thomas Vigneron, Harley Eldridge. Harley hasn't crossed the loop yet to register a transponder. Jonathan Gandin, Benjamin Jabira, Pekko Evenen, Carl Frederick Grossel, and Dai Sakaguchi. Callens leading away with the orange-coloured car, being chased by the orange-coloured car. So we did request no white-coloured cars, and
you've got orange colours now.
Yes. So out in the front we have the orange car from the orange car from the orange car. So with the top 3. So
never wish.
So never wish for anything. Be interesting actually to see. I mean, Michele Manzo's car, that wails in a straight line. So just looking to see what he clocks. Yeah, 109k. So some 6k faster than anybody else I've seen.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another 10 on that.
Yeah. So yeah, the top heat. Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of that.
It's a shame you can't stream the speed trap.
It could be an option tomorrow to get a camera round on there. We haven't had the opportunity to.
Well, you should have got here early.
Yeah. Bit of light-hearted ribbing going on with between the organisers and the streamers. So front 2 orange cars locked together. Manzo leading from Callens.
This is great being trapped up here. This is an opportunity for me to watch the racing. Normally, I can watch 2 or 3 seconds and I'm entering a question somewhere.
You're answering a question and not seeing what's going. Well, you're more than welcome to join us at any other point.
Well, yeah, but now this goes out, everyone will know where I am.
So everyone knows where you're hidden, and there we go. Yeah. We've just seen Callens open up and let Manzo slide through out in front. So he's not just in front on the clock now, he's in front on the track as well. That's always a good feeling, isn't it, when you've caught someone on the split and end up in front of them, you know that you're in front of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
At that point, that's always a nice sort of little mental thing. It's like,
yeah, but you can't defend it. You've got to run away.
You have to drive away.
Yeah. Otherwise, the referees will be on your back.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one as a ref, isn't it? I mean, if you've caught and passed someone, and then you're in front of them still.
Yeah, but you've got this faster car approaching. Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's technically you're in front still. It's
if you get 2 guys racing around for about these speeds for kind of a long period of time, when the referee says, "Okay, swap it round for a few minutes and let's see who's faster," because they're too close. Very often somebody will say, "Thank you, I was getting so nervous."
Yes, quite often.
I prefer to chase him for a while. It's at least like having a rest.
Yes. And quite often you find that whoever...
Yeah, and it's so difficult for the referee to call because, it differs from corner to corner. So you need to give the other guy an opportunity to stretch it. And if you can, well, obviously that was the right call.
Yes.
But if it was wrong, call it back.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is you can have 2 cars generating the same lap time, but the way that they're doing it is very different. And quite often you can have cars sort of almost tripping over each other,
slowing each other down. In fact,
yes, because the quicker car is behind, at any one stage.
Oh, getting pulled along by to be a faster driver is kind of cool. You know you're improving your own score.
Yes.
We're not allowed to do that, of course. We're not allowed to give any information about that as a referee. Quite often I find myself, when I'm used to referee a decent heat, and I would tell them that yes, you're all on to improve, or half of you are on to improve, or whatever. Just as a one, I'm still here, but I'm not having to say much because you're driving so well, and two, you keep it tidy, you're going to improve.
Yeah,
it's just that little message you need to get across to the drivers. So you don't have to throw it away now. You're doing well.
You can feed the drivers information. I know whenever I referee a race, I'm always, if that was me driving, what information would I want?
Well, no, we're not allowed to give time. We're not allowed to give you any comparison as to where you'd finish in the overall ranking. That would be wrong. That would be coaching.
Yeah.
And obviously that's against the rules anyway. So the referees have to stick to the rules as well.
Just seeing, there's some quite impressive sparks coming off of one of the cars down the main straight. It's the... which car is it? It's the number 10 car. He's just coming out through the sweeper out onto the main straight now, and down the main straight.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's just run... time's expired. Who was that? That was Dai Sakaguchi. But some quite impressive sparks.
Well,
I mean,
the sun's gone down now, so we'll see a bit
that
more,
lower light. So that's looking titanium screws in the underside of the car, maybe.
I hope so. Or a fire extinguisher is required.
Well, yes. To fire extinguisher into the pits, please. But no, that's interesting to see something a little bit different out there.
I get a good view of the rostrum up here, so it looks as though we ought to have a bit more discipline on getting on and off the rostrum. I'll be looking at that a little later.
There we go. We don't charge for this service that we provide for the organisers, allowing them to...
This bird's eye view, yes.
The bird's eye view of stuff.
Yeah. It's quite neat being able to see where most people are as well.
What's that?
It's quite neat that, I'm spotting where people are going and etc. Yeah.
People watching.
No, I know where to kidnap them now when I go down.
Where to locate them. Any transgressions.
Mm-hmm. I don't do just transgressions, I do, I kind of positive words for people as well. Okay, not often. So, yeah.
It has been known on occasion.
Yeah, what do you used to call me?
Hard and nasty.
Yeah, no, bastards. Excuse me.
Not quite pre-watershed, post-watershed yet.
Do we have a watershed on this magic thing of the interweb?
It's gone 9 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 9 o'clock somewhere. I bet there's somebody listening early in the morning or late at night somewhere in the world.
Very international.
Where have we got people from?
We've got people. We're getting people from South America watching
well,
us.
they won't know me.
So.
Oh, okay. Hello,
yes.
Tucci.
Yes.
Well, if you're listening, Tucci, hello. Yeah.
So, Sushi can hear us. So, hello to him. He's dubbing our coverage into Japanese.
He should be here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a few drivers that have made their way from Spain last week.
Redovan. Yeah, that was an excellent event.
So,
were you there?
I wasn't. But
you were there. That's where the suntan comes from, Frank.
Yes.
Excellent. I did watch a bit.
Yes. my tan comes from Chesterfield at the weekend. That's the
bit.
last ever meeting from Chesterfield. Yeah.
Well,
from that Chesterfield venue.
Oh, come on! The last ever.
Yeah.
They're going to burn it down now, are they?
No, they've moved venue. They're moving venue.
That's
this
the
weekend.
second time that club has moved down.
Yeah.
I'm so old. I remember the first venue.
That was
the diagonal straight on the wooden floor.
That was before Nigel Hale nearly won a world championship.
Oh, you can't do that on the internet. You can't say Nigel Hale nearly won a world championship.
Almost.
If he's listening, he won't forgive you.
He might be, maybe.
He's probably dropped his phone, fumbling for it now. I can see his big thumbs trying to get onto that phone to send you a message.
Come on, guys, to the south of the grid.
An angry message will pop up, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm watching your phone. It's not happening.
Mattis Benetton leading away from Loic Jasmine. Loic, a little bit lower than we'd possibly expect him. You kind of get this sometimes, don't you, in qualifying that or in seeding practice that someone.
Well, the seeding was across the two, CP1 and CP2, so and it's only 3 laps, so it depends what he was doing. Hopefully, he wasn't holding back and saving his tyres for a later run, because that may have been spotted, and he won't have those tyres in his box now. But yeah, you may as well just run for it.
Yeah,
particularly as yes, tomorrow could be so important. If it rains and you find yourself in the wrong heat and you just happen to be very talented in rain, that's going to be really interesting. You'll be in the wrong heat.
But potentially, what if you're in better track? What if you've given yourself a track, like a track condition offset, and you've got slightly better, although it's still wet, but not.
Ifs and buts.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. So yeah.
That would be a very, very long game to be playing
all day long. What are you going to do if it's going to rain? It's not rained yet. What are we going to do with the schedule if it rains? It's not rained yet. That's been something I've been saying.
Yeah, but you must have a plan or some kind of a semblance.
Yeah, okay. There's obviously lots of contingency you think about. I mean, there are probably several options on schedules already laid out. There'll probably be there may be different times, etc., etc. But if I actually tell somebody, they go, "Oh, it's fact, and this is going to happen."
Yes.
Well, sorry guys, it's not rained yet.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You end up sounding like the Ferrari pit wall and saying you're switching to Plan F.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm in Italy, so I'm not going to say anything negative about how they arrange their
there is
strategy.
that true. Yes.
But,
Yes.
Yeah. It's no. You can't. If you're an organizer or you're an official at an event like this, you can't really go, "We're going to do this," because I can't predict the weather or the lightning or computer problems or whatever.
Yeah, in much the same way that
change.
any of these races, when they actually come to racing and you've got 9 other cars around you on the grid, they can't say exactly what they're going to do in the first corner because what they do is dependent on the 2 or 3 other cars around them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have to react and respond, and that's probably the best analogy that you can put to it. There's all sorts of different circumstances that can play out, and the decisions that trigger those individual things will change. Mattis Benetton leading this one with the 1 car, so the seeding system works. We're running with him at the moment, the yellow car out in front, and he's closing in on who's that he's closing in on?
This is obviously an important race. I'm looking down the pit wall counting people because there should be 1 mechanic and potentially a team manager there.
So that's the 10 car of Dominic Quick. Mattis is closing in on. And not quite with him. Oh, there we go. And slips past. So does the gentlemanly thing. That is the difference between the 1 car and the 10 car. So although he's caught and passed him on track, that's actually only about a 5-second gap that he's pulled on him. Maybe a bit longer with these. What are these doing? 16. So yeah, it would be a 5-second gap in the very top heat.
Some good sparks coming off a few cars. Yeah.
Let's see if we can spot.
Car 6 was quite a fireworks show down the straight.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's
flying spark.
That was quite impressive. Let's see. Is the white and is that sort of bluey green coloured car Cyril Ndiaye?
As entertaining it is, we won't be encouraging them putting titanium spikes or anything on to entertain people. I don't think the club would appreciate that.
I think you only ever see it in these conditions.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can spot him. He is the sort of white and green teal coloured car just coming around out onto the main straight now.
Yep. Ping, ping, ping. Yep.
looking quite impressive. Let's no, not that one. Let's just see where he is. He's a couple of cars back from that.
Yeah, coming over the start line.
There we go.
Front of
We've
race
got him.
control. Yeah.
There we go. There's a couple of sparks for you.
Depending on your connection.
Yes. So, not quite as vivid. I think the camera always makes it appear brighter than it actually is. It's surprisingly dark out. Well, either that or the window's not very clean. Possibly.
No, actually, I think I saw them cleaning the windows. Yeah, there's a guy on a ladder this morning or the morning before.
Okay.
Yeah, so they take great pride in this club. It's all fresh painted as well, incidentally. Yeah.
I mean, the general appearance of it does look absolutely fantastic.
It's a sharp place. It's a lovely place.
Yeah. So, and surrounded as well by
the hills,
fantastic scenery, and the hills.
I can go to gardening now because there was a fantastic field of sunflowers to our left, actually. Yeah, it's gone now. It's been, yeah. But of course, like a lot of places, there was a drought for a while. So some areas, some of our neighbours here will be welcoming any rain tomorrow.
Yes, they'll be quite pleased to see any sort of rain that we can get out there.
I will disappear during this heat.
Okay.
I need to go and follow a few things to make sure the process is being done correct.
No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you, Chris, for your
Although
insights.
this is probably the one to watch from up here, yeah.
Well, this is the penultimate heat. So some names out there: Michael Orlowski, Hayato Ishioka, Ronald Volker, and Alex Hagberg.
That's a surprise, isn't it?
That is a surprise. So,
they're still in a really good company, so there's no need for them to worry about that.
No, but not making the top heat.
Doesn't mean they're not going to make the A.
No, it doesn't, absolutely. David Ronafalk, another one of our drivers from along with Michael Orlowski.
Another rock star, yeah.
Straight from Spain.
Yeah.
And Kyle Branson, Alessio Mazzio, Mattia Collina, and Nicholas Lee.
Okay, while it's lining up, I'll disappear. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you guys on the view from your penthouse. Yeah, where's the jacuzzi? They've got air conditioning. I'm just going to tell you folks what they've got. Yeah, great view, air conditioning. Yeah. No jacuzzi though. Yeah. The bar. Where's the mini bar? Yeah. Oh, it's over there. I see. Yeah. It's full of champagne.
We're well stocked.
Yeah. Does that go on the account? Control?
Yeah.
Does that go on the control account, that champagne?
No.
Okay. Matt, you shouldn't trust these guys. Bye for now, folks.
Thanks. Michael Orlowski leading away then with, I believe, he's running a Schumacher prototype this weekend as well. So not sure of any further details, and it's being kept a little bit under wraps, but I believe they're running a prototype car out there this weekend. Hayato Ishioka has made his way to the front of this one, so he is Ronald Volker and Alex Hagberg have started moving forwards. So welcome to you if you are just joining us, and want to say thank you to Chris Hardesty for joining us as well on the stream, giving his insights and thoughts into really the state of play. It's good to have an opportunity to catch up with an established event organiser and sort of statesman of RC, and find out what is going on and get some thoughts from him. Alex Hagberg running in second position. Let's see if we can find him. He'll be a white and green car. He must be a white and green car. Yeah, there he is. There, or a green and white coloured car. He's just coming out onto the main straight now. Down the main straight. And through the sweeper. There we go. That's Alex Hagberg. He is chasing Ronald Volker. Two former world champions. Ronald winning in 2016. Alex not having won in the electric touring car class, but winning Nitro World Championships and 112 scale World Championships. Ronald now moving to the front, so he has caught and passed Michael Orlowski on the split. Orlowski moving to the top of the times, and then Ronald and Alex jumping through very, very close, all of them having done a 16.4 best lap time. If we can move forward a couple of cars, so not the pink car, but the one in front. Oh, in fact, has he just made a mistake? Let's have a look. Ronald... Yeah, Ronald made a bit of a mistake. Where is he on track? No, Ronald's still running. And he is now, he's one car behind Alex. So a bit of a commentator's curse on Ronald. Let's just get him as he comes through and out towards the... he's just about to come through and begin the sweep onto the main straight now. So 2 cars back from the one we've got on shot. There we go, that's Ronald Volker. So world champion in 2016, running the Mugen for, we believe it's their, although they've had cars out there for several years, and touring cars out there for several years, we believe it is their debut at the Electric World Championships. Obviously many World Championships in other classes.
1 minute to drive.
What chassis is David Ronafalk driving? David's driving an Automatics. So David runs touring cars for Automatics. Getting pretty dark out there now. Floodlit track. What have we got coming into the last 10 seconds? Alex Hagberg leading from Michael Orlowski. Ronald Volker, who we are running with, in 3rd position. Hot laps now mid-16s, a second slower than earlier control practice. Yeah, as you heard from Chris, the tyres, there's no strategy involved. They're told how old their tyres can be. So earlier they would have been on fresh tyres. Now they're on second run tyres. Even though it's the first qualifying run, they're on tyres that have previously been run in a practice session. Advantage of, or one of the advantages of that, it reduces the risk of tyre failure, certainly early on. Typically, if you're going to get a tyre failure, it would be during the first heat. So we've got the last heat, the top heat of modified, here from Gubbio. So this will be our last track action of the day. We'll be back tomorrow to join you, as we were hearing. Don't believe we've got a... let me just check if we have a time schedule published for tomorrow. Actually, I believe Frank has some news for us on a time schedule for tomorrow.
I just had to chase Chris down.
Okay.
And he talked to Giovanni. Giovanni? Oh, I keep getting his name mixed up. I'm sorry. But anyway.
Giuliano.
So at 8, there will be a very quick round of practice, 2 or 3 minutes per round,
Okay.
to clean up the track after the expected rains tonight.
Okay.
And then the qualifying proper is scheduled to start at 9. So that's when we will be ready. But we will see. we'll have to see.
We'll be here and ready.
Yeah.
We'll give you. We'll keep you informed as to what's going on. You probably don't want to hear us if there's no action going on the track. But we'll try and that being the case, we'll try and find some little snippets that we can and sort of keep you informed and updated with what's going on as best we can. So Bruno Coelho going to lead this away from Akio Sabue, Victor Wilk, Christopher Krapp, Jules Groskamp, Mark Reinhardt, Naoto Matsukura, Alessio Menicucci, Yannick Prumper and Lucas Urban. So we were saying earlier that Lucas sort of being seeded after initial practices in sort of 3 heats from the top, and he's managed to launch himself up into the top heat. It's getting dark, very dark. So this the last run of the day. Bruno leads away with his all white body shell, not race paint.
7, 8, 9, 10.
And that's a hot opening lap from Bruno. Let's just have a look at the sort of standing lap time. 16.009. 6/10 faster than anybody else has managed so far. I think it looks exaggerated because Akio, starting off in car 2, did a 17.3, so one of the slowest out there. Bruno Coelho leading this and already catching and passing. That was the green car. Who is the green car? Let's just try and pick up his number. That was the 10 car that's Lucas Urban. So already, I mean, that's got to be a bit demoralising for Lucas. Granted, he started out, 10 seconds down on him already on a 16-ish second lap. But that's already after a couple of laps. He's lost 6 seconds. That's a massive rate. So Bruno's car looking calm, looking planted. And the talent, I mean, Bruno from making and running in an hour-long final on Saturday for the Rallycross World's A final, wanting to defend his title that he won in South Africa. Chrissy Grapp running in second position at the moment, currently, with the number 4 car. Let's see if we can pick up him. There's the 1 car. 2, 3, 4. So he's the white and orange and blue coloured car. Is Chrissy. Let's just follow him round. He is just about to come across the start-finish line now. There we go. That's our second place man, Christopher Krapp, running in second position.
8, 9, keep it clear. Pass the cars behind you.
Just in front of him, we've got Victor Wilk running in third position at the moment. So this is a case of running on the split. Was that a... That wasn't Bruno, was it? Just seen a white car. No, that was the 8 car. So that was Alessio. Bruno still leading this one quite comfortably. He's now caught and passed Yannick as well.
2 minutes to drive.
2 minutes left in this one. Let's have a look at the lead as they cross the line. So 3.5 seconds the lead for Bruno. currently. Billy Fletcher asking what looks to be the go-to shell. Haven't had an opportunity to get down into the pitch yet, Billy, and have a bit of a look around and a dig around, because we've got here and only just sort of joined in for qualifying today when there wasn't any scheduled. We haven't had the opportunity to catch up with that information yet. Jokke Carlson asking, do some drivers choose to run white body shells because it makes them easier to see? I don't really think it's that. I think it's body shells. They're certainly the very high performance body shells, pretty thin, and when they cost to potentially quite a lot of money to get them painted. If you want a practice shell, it's easier just to put one colour on it rather than worry about what you're possibly going to damage out there. Bruno with 30 seconds left leading this one. Let's see if we can pick him up again, because he's looking fairly dominant. There's the one car. He's just crossing the start-finish line now, closing in on the back of what looks like Mark Reinhardt's car. So one car back. There we go, the white car. He is closing in on the back of Mark Reinhardt, who started out 6th. So these two great rivals had a really hard battle, and have had some really hard battles over the years. And we've got Bruno closing in on Mark. Mark will be the consummate professional and open up and give Bruno the necessary space as they get there.
Maybe?
Oh, no, didn't need to. Didn't need to in the end. Bruno had timed out and as they crossed the line. So Bruno had finished just as he caught the tail of Mark. So, just dropping down. Nayato stopping after one lap.
I'd like to see some of these white cars with colored stripes, at least. So you can tell them apart.
Quite often they do tend to run
just
sort of
down the side, or going down, from the front bumper all the way to the back bumper, that sort of, just a basic white, just masking tape, just put a stripe on it.
They do tend to run like decals in their own, their sponsor decals in their own.
Well, it's very everything is hard to see at the moment in this light.
It is. It's incredibly dark out there, but that is our track action for the day. And everything. So thank you for joining us, and you'll be able to catch up with us over the rest of the weekend as well. So we're bringing you track action tomorrow, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. So next we've got the opening ceremony, which we're not going to cover. We'll try to get some photos, but it is going to be pretty dark, so it's going to be kind of hard. You can catch, I think, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you go on the IFRA Facebook page and find the opening ceremony live stream from the Nitro Touring Car Euros, I think the opening ceremony is basically going to be like that. There's like a nice little demo of the local flair, but as we said earlier, the action on the track will start at about 8 a.m. tomorrow, local time, so it's Central European time, Italy time, so be sure and adjust your clocks accordingly. But the round 2 qualifying is scheduled to start, and I say scheduled in that way because we don't know what the weather is exactly going to do, but it's scheduled to start at 9 a.m. local times. Again, Central European or Italian time, so 1 hour ahead. 8 a.m. in the UK, and adjust your times accordingly elsewhere. But keep an eye out on the RCTV Facebook page for the link to the YouTube stream, where we're of course catching up with all of the commentary from the Peanut Gallery from all of our viewers. We should thank our sponsors.
Absolutely. So thank you to X-Ray, Monaco RC, Sun Padal, Hobby Wing and Tony Sport for helping us to bring you this coverage. And again, absolutely free coverage. I don't want to say live and uninterrupted, because there's a good possibility it will be at some point. But yeah, it's good to see that they, companies out there putting something back into the hobby.
We very much appreciate it. We love to be here, and Gubbio is going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's. Have we actually introduced ourselves at all yet?
Possibly not. No. So yeah. Well, I've been James Stewart, and
I've been Frank McKinney, and on the camera has been Zach Fielding. Fenning. There we go. I got the first and last letters right. Right. Okay. So we'll be back tomorrow. We have some other little technical things to do and some things to pack away before what we think is the rain is going to come. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gabriele Berselli a cronometraggio, grazie.